And remember, I mentioned that there might be some students that either need a lot, they've never seen a computer, or maybe maybe they use tablets all the time now, and this is all they know how to do. And you want them to do, they know nothing about the keyboard when everyone else does.
Just a quick question before you. If we, say, forgot how to create classes, is there a help there?
Yes.
With
Thank you for asking. All right. See this help right here?
Help.
I want to show you. If you'll click on that help, it's going to take you to the learning.com website with all the resources. And it really is great. So the very first one that comes up is the platform. All right, and underneath that, here's everything that you get. Setup guide for setting up your classes and creating groups and everything. All the stuff that we did today, if I click on that.
Yeah. Okay, learning.com platform. And
Underneath it, you scroll down. So here's how to create a new class. Here's how to enroll students. Here's how to assign curriculum. Okay? So there's that document.
Help, then. Okay.
I'm almost afraid that if I log in, there it is. Okay.
Thank you for that.
All right, then there's also videos.
Yeah,
the videos? There's videos. How do I create a class? There's a video. This is a video on it. There's the documentation. How do I enroll students? Okay, so all of that's there. But then if you want to go to inquiry, you click on inquiry, you've got other things down here. There's the inquiry overview. There's those guides that I was showing you a while ago. So there's all that information there. Easy Tech. If you click on Easy Tech, there's a video on exploring the Easy Tech curriculum. The Easy Tech student login cards, those login cards that I gave you, I'll show you, as soon as I click out of here, I'll show you how to create those. You'll want to do that for your students. Most of the Easy Tech lessons are available on tablets. It'll indicate in the library whether or not it is, and so they can use those and log in on tablets. There's the curriculum. What's really helpful in here, especially for those of you that are teaching more than one grade level, you'll have pacing calendar. So in here is the kindergarten pacing calendar, grade 1, grade 2. You can see what they suggest the pacing would be. There's the scope and sequence, all the details that you might want there. But what you're I think the most help that you're going to need is in the learning.com platform, the creating the classes. You can also working with classes and students. All right. This is what we're going to do this afternoon, creating and assigning student content, creating an activity, creating a journal item that we do this afternoon is going to be right there, those documents. So everything's right there on the help. All right there for you. All right. So we created a class a minute ago, or earlier this morning. We added some students. But you can make an assignment to just a group or individual kids. So let's say that you've got a student that is going to be, that maybe was out for 2 weeks. They were ill, hopefully they weren't ill, or maybe they were just for whatever reason they were out. You can make assignments that would catch them up, just individual students, but let's make a group first. And to make a group, I'm in my class, and underneath the assignments, you'll see the little multiple student. That's a group. So I'm going to click on this little icon. I have to, so I'm working in this inquiry class, and I'm going to call this, and there's something important. Make sure when you're making a group, This is probably the most important thing I'll tell you today. When you're making a name of a group, if you've got a class and you want a small group of kids that maybe need some retention, or maybe they're kids that are way beyond what the rest of the class is doing, you don't want to choose a group name that reflects, like you don't want to call them the Buzzards and the Eagles or something, because that's going to show up when they log in. They're group names, so you'll want to come up with group names that don't reflect their skill level. Like I wouldn't want to call this group a remediation group or the gifted group or whatever. Give them a group name. So I'm just going to call it Group 1 for right now. Because kids will notice it, and they will either be offended or they'll be bragging or something. So I've got a group instead of the class name. So anything that is in blue here can get its own separate assignments. So if I have a group name right here, I can assign curriculum just like I did to the class, but now that curriculum is going just to that group. And they will just have a different list of assignments.
And that group is within your Group 1 class?
Let's say I have, now I've got a group, now I have to, we'll click on the group. I haven't enrolled any students, so it's only going to pull students from my class.
So it's kind of separate.
Yeah, it's only going to pull the students from that class. So let's say that these are I have 20 kids in my class. It's only going to list those 20, and let's say these 4 kids need to be in that group. So I'm going to enroll them.
Say those kids whose work modified or
right, modified work. So now I've got the group name is in blue. So when I go over here to the curriculum, I can assign curriculum just to those 4 students that the rest of the class does not get. Make sense? Mm-hmm.
So will they see that they are under a separate group?
They will see what they, that's a good, I'll show you. I'll log in, let me add a student to it and I'll show you. Let me click on the name again. Remember, I had to click on the name to get the grade book. And I'm going to enroll another student, and I'm going to do that. I have a student in here. You can search for students too. This one right here is actually a student, and I want to show you what theirs is going to look like. All right, so that student is. Now, also I want to show you that if I click on this student's name, not there. I want to go back here. Inquiry, individual students. When I click from here and go down and click on the student, familiar, and that's what I want you to do this afternoon, just get familiar with it. If I assign, let's say this student just knows nothing about the keyboard. So I'm going to go to my inquiry here, and I'm going to go to the Easy Tech keyboarding, and I'm going to assign that student this lesson, this lesson, this lesson. Okay? Now, I'll go back to my classes. See my inquiry class right here? There's my individual students, and see my group one? I haven't made any assignments for group one yet. I'm gonna make a real quick assignment for group one. I'm gonna give them assignment. And all the same thing. Only this group is like really, well, it does have that other student in it, or maybe not. So this student, this group I'm going to give I just want you to see the difference. I'm only going to give them this. All right, I just wanted to show you the difference. So I'm going, that was demo student. Demo. So that you know what kids are seeing. So this is what a student would see. See, none of the stuff that you see when you log in, this is what they see. All right. So they have, this is their name. Here. Let's see, if they weren't in a group and they didn't have individual assignments, all they would see is this class right here. You see this group? They're in group one, so if they, and that's where they would see the name. I just called it group one, but if you called it something that was indicated that they were remedial, then they would see it. And so you'd want to be mindful of that. So there's the group assignment, but then that individual student also had an assignment. There's assignments. So that's how you can differentiate among your students. Make sense?
What is that student?
It just says student. It's just, it won't give the student's name, it will just say student. So they have class assignments. They may or may not have group assignments if you put them in a group or not. And they may or may not have individual assignments. So if you want to give an individual student, if you want to give an individual student an assignment, then you click on the class. Actually, I'll take it back. Yeah. The easiest way for me is to click on here in my class list. Click on the student. Where the student's name is in blue. Then I can make an individual assignment to that student. I know this is a lot. It's a lot just throwing at you this morning. I think it's all going to make sense this afternoon when you have time to really work on individual stuff. So it's 11:16. Let's see what I have time to do now. Let's take a look at the marketplace between now and lunch, and that way they'll free up this afternoon for you to work, really get familiar with the content for your grade levels, for you to make sure you create classes. I really wish you had your students. I wish you had your database and all that. That would be so great, but you can at least get some classes set up this afternoon, but you're not in your school. We'll see what we can do to make that easy for you. All right, up here, library. Let's go back and review those. Home takes us all the way back to the beginning. Classes. I don't have a class selected over here. Library. Students is the student database for your school, where it will list all the schools, all the teachers, all the students in the school. We're not talking about assessments right now. Marketplace is another area where you can get some third-party content. And this is what I referred to earlier, where you might want to get Khan Academy from here, especially those of you that teach maybe 4th, 5th, 6th grade up. Khan Academy, there's some other sites in here. So if you scroll all the way down, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in here that's very pricey.
Do we purchase it or we need already purchase it for our school?
Do what?
It's the same.
Marketplace, and then it says separate assignments, like applications, right?
No, it's third-party stuff. It's things. Well, when we look at it, you'll see what. It's just other things that you could add for you. And if you're doing it as a teacher, when you add something, you're just adding it for yourself. If it's going to add that stuff to their school. If a district coordinator, like I did, chooses something, it's going to add it to every teacher at school. And so then you end up with things that you don't need. So down here is the free resources. If you'll click on free resources, or watch me, it's whether or not it's easier for you. Okay. So there's some language arts things in here. These are the free. So you just go through and look. This is basketball tournament, beginner Spanish. Here's math. I don't know what this April Fool's Day is, but I'll look at it. 2-digit K through 12. I don't know what it is, but we'll sure look. Oh, I'm not logged in. It will log you out if you don't use something after a while, but I think I'm indifferent. Marketplace, view. Oh. Okay. So these are all web links because of the W. So just something else you might want to look at. It's actually worksheets. It's not all the stuff in the marketplace is not digital. There are some things that aren't digital. So I'll go back and here's the Khan Academy.
Some stuff. I added some stuff.
So if you find something in the marketplace that you want to use, see the green button right here, the add to the library. Click add to the library. And there is no access here. Even though it says it's going to bill you, it does not bill you. So schools, see my teacher account, I'll just do that. I want to allocate it to this. Activate it. Now when I go to the library, Khan Academy is going to be in it. I don't know which one I did.
Have you ever seen that? Have you looked at those?
So there's the Khan Academy lessons. So that's the marketplace. So between now and lunch, why don't you just take a look through the marketplace and see if there's anything you might want to do. After lunch, I'll show you how to easily create a web link, especially in the lower grades, creating those web links for students to access. There's some really good stuff on the web. And we'll make sure you are thoroughly familiar with these.
So basically, we can create class assignments and each student will do classes. We can just assign like group assignments for each student who can kind of get into assignments the rest of the time, right? Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And if that's the case, then you want in the class, you don't want group assignments, yes, they're separate. So when they finish their class assignments, they go to group assignments. And you, for the group, they can choose which ones they do. So,
Also, we can't give them choice, right? I pick one of them and then you get that whole extra.
Yeah, I don't know. I just saw them bring it up for somebody else.
you might have to scroll through.
So I don't know.
There's several.
That's right.
Because they sent in an email. The email they sent out said, "This is how you get money back." No, cold too.
That's John, yeah.
So that
Now, the
That's our
other two
new-
are already in there, I think. There's some already in there.
do you know him?
I've used this one a lot. Graph paper.
That's our new
Sometimes I use
superintendent.
graph papers, don't have it, so I'll put that, maybe
He's got
maybe
6
I've
kids.
created some lessons
4 of
where
them at our
they
school.
needed some graph
2 of them
paper.
at the big
And I just assigned that to them. I just put it in. Have access to the graph paper. have that we recommend that you have. They used to be part of the whole bundle, and we got them automatically. So y'all will go to the marketplace, especially if you're in your own computer. Now, you'll need to remember this when you get on another computer. Well, you're in your account. If you have your own account, this should be fine. If you're using a demo account, then write this down to do it when you get your own account. But in the marketplace, turn these lights out. You see at the top where you search by different ways? On the right-hand side is search by provider. And if you will search by provider and scroll down to find learning.com, this is a good way too that you can look, instead of looking at all those thumbnails in the free version, you can look through by provider, but these include free and charge. But if you find learning.com, then free, that's their STEM, that's just some samples for AHA Math. But down at the bottom, the Imagine Mars, which is science integration, you can get that one for free, and also the integration projects, especially the upper grades. I know there's some high school integration projects in there. So let's look at, I'm going to do this integration projects right here. I'm in an account that I know I don't have this in, so I'm going to click on free. Or now I'm going to click on the name of it, integration projects. And then you can look at the different ones. There's math integration, language arts, science, social studies. There's the honor roll. Honor roll lessons are good. They actually took one of mine and made an honor roll lesson. But it's more extensive lessons that provide everything. There's some pretty good lessons in there. But when you find one, like if you want some math integration projects, click on it, and then your grade level. You don't have to put everything for you. So maybe here's integration. All right. Yeah, I thought you put it in the library, but it's not, mine's not showing up in my library. You can assign from there. Maybe mine's already in there. But do you get one where it says, let's see, some of y'all. Okay, I thought maybe it did where like it did on the Khan Academy. But anyway, take a look at those integration projects. That may be something that you want to look at. Just some different projects. They're journal items. They're created. Now, Kelly Irwin, I'll tell you right now, Kelly Irwin, it was my trainer. She's got some really good stuff in there. So really, if you want to ever do a keyword search just for Kelly Irwin, she's got some good lessons that you'll want to take a look at. But that was in the marketplace. Okay, the next thing I want to do, first of all, I want to show you, I logged into another account of mine. And I wanted to show you what what an inquiry project looks like. If you assign an inquiry project, how it looks, and then I wanted to show you how you would grade that. So I'm going to go back to my classes in this one. I have a 3rd grade inquiry demo. Okay, and if I click on the name, see my grades. All right, just like you saw a while ago, but these are inquiry projects. This is the pre-test. It shows that it was completed. There's no grade. They get to do it. They get immediate feedback. They get to see the right answers if they missed a question. So there is, it's completed. Then this was the project. So when you see in progress, you know that they're still working on it. They haven't actually submitted it to be graded yet. But when something has been, this is the reflection item. When it has been submitted to be graded, it'll say grade this. Now, before I do this, I'm going to show you, if I go home, show you how I would know without getting into the class. So when I'm at the home page, see down here, grade 3 inquiry demo class, 2 reflection assignments are ready for grading. This will for you. You would see there that there's a comment. All you have to do is look at your home page to see if you have anything ready for grading, if there are any comments that you need to address. Right there. So I'll go back to this, and I just click on here. This was Sally's students' reflection. And so if I want to, this is what she put down. That was a comment there. Turn in the reflection. Click grade. You can grade it as complete or incomplete and explain the grade. Now, if the student has not, and this is true in other assignments too. If you don't think they've done their best job, or they didn't understand the assignment,
Excuse me.
they've already submitted it, but it's clear when you looked at it that they didn't understand the assignment, all you have to do is reopen it. And then that student can go back and make changes.
Again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
So we'll go back. I'm sorry. Let's go back and look. So see where what did say grade this, and I marked it to reopen. Now the student can go back and work on it.
and that will be completely new grade, right?
Mhm.
The previous grade will not
Yes.
reflect new grade.
Yes, it just takes it away.
Okay.
All right. But that's the difference in the inquiry grading and the easy tech grading. The way it happens here. And then, so here's another one. It's a reflection. Grade this. If I click it from here, it's just going to bring it up again. So you look at this, you read what they put down. This is, they go through there. She highlighted the column that she thought she did. I don't think she did everything. And then just click grade, and if it's okay, click complete, and you're done. I'm gonna leave it open right now. Demo. All right, so is that kind of clear? You'll see. And this is one of the things I told my teachers in my other district is I would create a couple of semi-student, fake student one, whatever, and I would give them assignments so that I could see how that assignment works and how it's graded. You know, that's just going to help you. I mean, you know, if you've got a cousin or a niece or a nephew or a son or a daughter or somebody at home that wouldn't mind, you know, they could go through and do them, or you just so it gives you some familiarity with how it works and, you know, what the whole process, the grading process and everything is. And you're welcome to do that today. You could assign some of these fake students an activity, go through there and complete it, and we can grade it. Okay, let me. Okay. Now the next thing I want to do today is to show you. I showed you some activities that you can just do a keyword search for. I'm going to take, and it's not because I think they're good. It's just because I'm familiar with them. I have access to them. I don't have to go look for any more. But I want to show you what's inside of a different, there's 3 kinds of lessons. An activity. I think I might have to have some peppermint or something in a minute. Activity, a journal item, and a web link. I want to show you what's inside, the guts of all of those, because then you can try it today if you want, or between now and school starts, or just when you have some free time, you might want to sit down and create something specifically for your kids. One of the things that helped me was to go back and use some of those lessons that I did before technology. There were days before technology. I taught before, my first email was called Pegasus Mail. It was P-mail. And so I took some of those lessons that I did with my kids before technology and just made digital lessons out of them. And then the next step was to put them in learning.com. So you may eventually want to do that. So what I'm going to do is, I guess I'll just go ahead and do it in this class right here. I'm going to do a keyword search, go back to the library. And like I said, not because I think these are all that good. I just want to show you the difference in what the inside guts of a lesson looks like. So I'm going to search for my name. And then I'm going to show you one of those papers I gave you was how to install a bookmarklet that makes making web links super easy. Okay, so all of these with W's are web links, which means when you assign a web link to a student, they click on it and it brings up a website for them to do. It's very easy. So if I click on, I'll do construct a word. If I click on construct a word, when you click on the name of a item in the library, then you get this view. If you click on the word view, on the view button, you get the student view. So this is what's inside a web link. There's a title for it and a description. There's the link that they're going to go to. Now, I normally don't do this, but I should. I need to go back and put my categories and my standards in, because many teachers are required to account for the standards. I don't know what y'all's accounting system is, but several districts I know, they maybe use Eduphoria lesson plans, something like that, and they have to show, the principals can go back and look to see, did you teach this TEK, did you teach that TEK, how many times did you teach it? Well, no wonder they didn't do well. You never even taught it. So I need to go back into mine and take the time to put in the standards and things. But for details, I just put in estimated time, publisher, and all that. And we're going to do a web link in a minute. That's what a web link is. And so whenever a student clicks on an assigned web directly to that website. And it's a great way. I don't know about y'all, but I've been doing this for a lot of years, and we used to make shortcuts to the websites we wanted to go to, put them in a first grade folder, put them in a second grade folder on the server. The kids would have to go to the server, find the folder, where they're at, because we know they can't type in URLs. And so that's what a web link is. Y'all pretty clear on what a web link is? And by the time we get the bookmarklet installed, it's going to be very easy to do a web link. Okay, then go back to Brought. Then we'll go down and find some activities. You can see that web links are really the easiest. I know I've got some activities in there. Maybe not in this class, in this district, in the sign-on. Okay, let me show you this. A journal item. I showed you faux pas, but I want to show you This was another one. When I was in the computer lab, I had the kids come in, they were 5th grade, I had them come in, I gave them just the text of a poem called, I told them that they had to center it, center the title, double space the body, add a picture to the background, all these things that they had to do. So I put this into learning.com. And so when I clicked on the title, this is what this lesson looks like inside. And when you create lessons like this, the directions are there for you how to do this. The details, that's this right here. It just repeats it. The lesson plan. But I'm going to come up here and I'm going to, okay, I'm not logged in how I was for that one. I need to log in as myself in one that I created this. I'm sorry. Let me log out real quick. Because I want to show you what the editing part looks like. When you're logged in and you've created anything, it shows up under My Curriculum. You don't have to go do search. Real handy. So I'll come down this way, My Curriculum items. Network seems to be slow. Or internet. Now there's some activities. Okay, we'll go back to the activity in just a minute. What was I doing? Computer. Nice. So click on the name. And I'm going to click edit so that you can see what it looks like when you're creating one of these activities. Okay, so when you're creating an activity, this is what it looks like. And that's the you have to give it a name. You have to give it a description. You can share this content. You can share it only with your district, or you can choose not to share it. When I create something for myself, I don't share it right away. I always make sure it's working correctly before I do it. The scoring scheme can either be, like if there's 8 or 10 questions, you can say, it's a 10 out of 10 or whatever scoring scheme, or you can do a complete, incomplete. You have to give it an estimated time, a grade range, and put some keywords in for searching, and then objectives. And click next, it's going to take you to the next tab up here, which is categories. This is optional. Even though from now on I'm going to start making sure that because other people, I'm sharing it with all of learning.com, they need to have the categories in and the standards. But this is optional. This is optional. The lesson plan is actually optional, but if you want to provide a lesson plan, especially if you're going to be sharing this with your colleagues, then you'll want to just type in what they need to do to teach this. The activities, since okay, the activity, usually it'll say prompt. So this is all my directions. I uploaded a document for them using the file manager right here. You just click on file manager and you go find a document on your desktop, on your computer, and you upload it, and it links it in there, so that all they have to do is click on it, they've got it. You don't have to print it out, make sure they get home with it, or anything like that. So I had this document, and I had these instructions. So I typed all this in, And then for the response template, asked them to submit their poem for grading, click the attachments button in the editing tools above. This is what they see when they submit their things for grading. Okay, so if I go ahead and save this, I'll show you what it looks like. But that's the tabs. That's what it's referring to in those instructions I gave you for creating these journal items. And so I'll go to View. So this is what the student would see. This would be the document that they get. Do you see how this might be helpful for you to create your own things too, rather than just depend on the learning.com? There's the poem, and then that they take, and then basically this is a Word, Microsoft Word formatting. The instructions, and one of their, well, the ticks had changed, but one of the ticks before the change said they needed to navigate between multiple programs, and so it showed them how to use the open programs at the bottom. But so there's, they would have everything they needed right there to do that lesson. This is particularly helpful if you've got a student that's out. When you've taken them to the lab, they can do these from home. So that's a journal item. There was a prompt, but there was also something they had to attach. Sometimes it'll be questions plus an attachment. Sometimes it's only attachment. Sometimes it's questions you want them to answer. All right, then an activity is very similar.
Excuse me, could you go back to the page, the computer mice?
Computer mice?
Yeah. I couldn't see the edit.
Yeah.
You don't have the
Right here.
edit.
No, you will only have the edit button for things that you create.
Oh,
Only for those that you create. That's why I had to log in. I had created this under this account, and when I logged in under another, I could see it, but I couldn't edit it.
so if I'm just pulling out from your link, then that's
Right. Okay, so, but that's a good question. So that's a journal, and then for an activity, I'm gonna find a different one than that one. Internet safety questionnaire. I'm not sure what that is. It's been a long time. Oh, this was sampled Google actually. Actually, this one. So if I go to edit, when you're creating these, this is what you see. There's the details again, just like you have in every one of them. The categories, the standards, and I did put those in for this one. The lesson plan, which I did not put, and here's the activity. So the activity is all I did, as I said. If this was embedded, you have to embed by using this HTML button right here. And I had a Google form, I think it was, and I just grabbed the embed code and put it in there. So that whenever the students got this lesson, this is probably not the best. I probably didn't share it either. That I shouldn't even show you that one because it's not even, it's not shared. So shared with the district, I need to unshare it. So to unshare it, I would go edit, and on the sharing, I would take this off, save it. So now even the people in that district cannot see it. Okay, so how do we create lessons? If you will go to either a class, if I'm on Start, go to My Curriculum. You probably don't have any yet. And then you click on items. At the very bottom, which is a long list, there's a create item. Okay? The other way to get to it is to go to the library items. Okay, it is right there. Create an item. All right, here's where you get to choose. Well, if you choose to create something, you can choose an activity, a journal, or a web link, and then it just walks you through it. But I'm going to do the web link first. I would like for everyone to create a web link, because that's really, I mean, we all share web links with students. Well, when you clicked on this web link, so if y'all will go ahead and look at this, right underneath, you can't see my little buttons, but see this link here that says click here to install the learning.com browser add-on? I'll click on this, and it gives you the instructions for how you do it. I am actually in Firefox right now, so make sure, it says, so make sure the bookmarks toolbar is visible. Is my bookmarks toolbar visible? I may not be able to on this one, but the directions are there. I wish I could get my laptop. Basically, how many of you are familiar with Pinterest? And there's a Pinterest button. All right. And there's all kinds of buttons, little buttons that you can bookmark things with. This, let's see if I can do it. I'm going to try Firefox. All right. That is a bookmark toolbar. All right, so all you do for Firefox is you take this link and you drag it up to the top. It creates this little button. So that way, when I am on a website, like let's say I've got early readers, Starfall. And there's a particular one that I want them to do. Maybe we're getting ready for pumpkins. There's a particular one of these that I want them to do, and this is true for any. I shouldn't have turned down my volume. Okay, when you find a website that you want the kids to go to, then you click here on this Create Learning Link. As long as you're logged, you have to be logged in. If you're not logged in, it'll prompt you. It puts in the name of the website for you. It puts in the address. You can edit this right here. You can share the content. I'm not going to share it because there's complete, incomplete has to be done. It'll probably take them 2 minutes. And you can put in keywords, click next. I'm not going to put in these, but you need to get a save button down here. The easiest way to get this save button and bypass all this is go to lesson plans. I'm not even going to put anything in there. Click save. And now I've got that link. So if I go to my library, pick a pumpkin, that's it right there. I can assign that. And view it. I don't have a class ready there, so I can view it. And see how it just takes me straight to that website. That's the easiest way of providing links to kids.
How did you drag the grade learning.com over there? Yeah, on the top. Because I tried to do it.
Can I reach the website?
Are you using
Can I reach the
Chrome
website?
or?
I can't? It's not remote?
You're using Firefox?
Yeah.
It's not
Okay, you need the bookmark tool. Click here in the blue.
What do you want?
And
Oh, it's just- looking at it to see if I had access.
You have to other remote connection,
Okay.
and you don't have.
See, but then you don't have all your things that I've got.
What are you doing?
Yours, and then, please because your bookmark toolbar.
Well, how did you get
And this
this?
is Firefox? Or just, you're in Google
Why
Chrome.
don't I have that?
So I'll have to look the directions for Google Chrome.
Because it's an admin feature.
Hmm?
It is an admin feature.
No, you don't have Firefox, yeah, that's Google Chrome. So for Chrome,
I'm reaching the server.
Hmm?
I'm reaching the server.
I know. Hmm?
for Chrome, make sure the bookmarks tool is visible. If not, click the 3 lines icon. Bookmark, show bookmark.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
Right here, click on this. And then say bookmarks. Show bookmarks bar. And once you show the bookmarks bar, that's where you drag that link to. But it's real easy. I mean, if you don't have your computer with you today, you can go get that right off of that create an activity page. So here's what I'd like to do to finish out the afternoon. So far already we have, you know how to create classes. Anybody that wants some extra help creating a class, I want to help you do that. Add students to that class. Create a subgroup in that class. And give an assignment to that subgroup so that you know how to give an assignment to a class, to a subgroup, and if you want to, even to an individual student. Then, I want in your accounts, in your regular accounts, or in that teacher demo account that I gave you, not the one I gave you. You can create a class, even though it's not going to be one that you can use. Go ahead and create that class and start finding assignments for the beginning of the year, so that you're at least that much farther ahead. And then, if for those of you that are industrious enough and want to try creating an activity or a journal item or something, I'll be glad to help you to do that. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I'm using
Okay, Internet Explorer, you have to go to, let me click on this for a second. Let me tell you what to do. All right, so make sure your favorites bar is visible. So right click here, in this area here. No, right click, no, it's right click on your favorites bar. And then put a check mark next to favorites bar. So your favorites, so I would exit all these things. Yeah, all of them, yeah, all those bars there, you know. Okay, right click up here in the blue. And uncheck ask, ABG, incredible, all those. You can't hardly find your bookmark bar. I would just take off that one. And then right click and take off ABG. Ask. He'll come back. Okay. So, you're going to take that and drag it up, it's right here, drag it right up there.